never stop. And we coming to your spot, so you better fucking run. Yeah, yeah. We just coming after you for fun. Yeah, yeah. No conversation with no bun. Yeah, yeah. Kamikaze, I'd advise to run. Can't compare me to nobody, cause they know I'm number one.
Hey yo, what it doing, Wiz Crew? Welcome back to another video. And today I've just been cranking these Rise of the Stars just left and right, back and forth. But we got a new Rise of a Star. We got a new guest representing Broward. We got that boy xoAlonso. Let him know what's up. It's a pleasure having you on the channel.
Happy to be here, Shaw. I'm fucking excited for this shit. I haven't had an interview this whole time I've been up. I got a lot of interview offers, but I turned them down. I saw your interview recently, bro. That shit's fire, so I had to tap in.
It truly is a blessing, man. I truly am thankful and blessed that like anyone that wants to come through with NLH and wants to represent the brand. And I'm just truly blessed everyone just checking me out and give me the recognition. I'm truly thankful. I'm going to give you the platform, and the floor is going to be all yours, my good sir.
All right, bet.
But without any further ado, we're going to jump into it with the first question of the day. Let us know the origin behind your rap name, xoAlonso, or artist name. I don't know what you like to go for. Rapper, artist?
Either one. xoAlonso is a name that means a lot to me. It was the name of my grandma's late husband. When I was growing up, I would pretty much spend all day at her house. My parents worked really, really late, so I was always at my grandma's house. She basically raised me, and she would always tell me stories about her late husband, like if he was a hero. So I always grew up seeing him as like this figure larger than life that I never met. And Alonso was also my middle name. So when I was in middle school, I had a crush on this girl, and her whole friend group would call me Alonso because they found out that was my middle name. And so the name kind of stuck with me. Then when I was producing, I went through a bunch of different names when I was producing. I went through Vacation, Acid Melody, some weird names. And then when my grandma died, one of the last conversations I had with her was her telling me like, you know, Alonso, you work a lot, you know, you do a lot of stuff, but you got to make sure you just follow your dreams. Like whatever dream you have, no matter how unattainable it may seem, like you just got to go for it. So then that week that she passed away, I was feeling a lot of emotions. And that's when I really got into the studio and just started making my own kind of songs. And that's when I really had a lot to say. I was going through a breakup at the time too, so there was just a lot of things in my mind like coming up at the same time. And that's when I really like from an early stage, that's where I really found my sound. And I used like recording music as a way to vent, as a form of therapy. And so the second I started recording, I was like, I need an artist name. And I just knew it was like Alonso, like just like my grandma's husband, just like she always called me, just like how I liked being called in middle school by a girl that I liked. I was like, I'm gonna just go with Alonso, and it's never changed since.
It really does make me happy to hear that there is like a meaning, there's a deeper significance between with your artist name. And I truly am sorry to hear about the passing of your grandma. I can personally relate to that feeling of losing somebody close to you, but I'm pretty sure that like she's looking up from heaven and she's truly happy to see that like her grandson is like taking this pain and putting it into something positive towards the world instead of just letting that pain just overconsume him.
Yes, sir. That's what I try to do with the music.
No, 100.
Let the energy like speak through me and just try to let things out. That's why I like freestyle everything. I don't really write anything. I just kind of like let it take away from me. I feel like, you know, act like a vessel and then just feel inspired by things going around me.
Of course. And that's like the main thing in like with this music game, where a lot of people value freestyling a lot more when it comes rather than writing, because freestyling, you could say, it's more raw, it's more energetic, it's more off the top. But then again, there's negatives and positives to that, because let's say you're freestyling, you might be saying the same thing like, she broke my heart, didn't know from the start, da 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 da. If you're repeating the same thing over and over, that's the negatives of freestyling. But then again, if you're writing, your vocabulary has to be through the roof. If your vocabulary still shooting, killing, da da da, like, then that's trash.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think that's why it's so important to just do it a lot. Because if not, you get stuck in the same rhymes. It starts to sound the same as everybody else's. But after a while, you sort of like get out of that and find your own lane, come up with your own vocabulary, your own lingo, and you start to find like the words that sound best to you. And yeah, you just get better at it over time.
Okay, fair enough. Respect. Now I'm gonna bring back to this question that you had just bring back a question from something that you stated earlier on. So what made you go from producing to eventually just becoming your own artist?
I had always like made reference tracks for the people that I made beats for, And other producers had always told me like, yo, you should hop on my beats because, you know, you just sound better than the artists that we're working with. And I just like, I knew from an early start that the people I was working with as artists, they weren't matching like the energy of my beats. And so like there was a show one time at my school where like a lot of rappers came out to perform and stuff. And I remember like playing the beats that I made and seeing people start bobbing their heads, moving, start to enjoy it. And as soon as like the artist I was working with would start performing, you would just see everybody go stiff. Like they wouldn't really yeah. And so I had a few producer tags that I used to throw on my shit that I recorded myself. And whenever people used to hear the producer tag, they would be like, damn, this shit's about to be fire. And then you see the actual artist start to rap and it just wouldn't be the same. So then when my grandma died, I was like, damn, no, I gotta chase this shit for real. Like being a producer, I'm not being true to myself unless I start actually making my own songs, because I know that's what I really wanted to do.
Fair enough. I mean, I'm pretty sure like if I was just an average listener and like, I'll give you an example. What'd you say one of your producer names was, like Acid or something?
It was Acid Melody.
Like imagine you hear something, Acid Melody on the beat, bitch, and then all you hear is, I've been drowning in my sorrows, don't know where to borrow, and it's like they're stiff as fuck. That was a bar. I wasn't even trying to go for that, but like you get what I'm saying. Imagine it's stiff, but then you're Acid Melody on the beat, boy. Like you get what I'm saying?
Exactly. Hey, that's exactly how it was too.
What was your producer tag, if you remember it?
I had like one that was like when I was vacation. It was like this vacation, blah blah blah. And then the one that really stuck around, it was like basically just me saying Acid Melody, but just the way the voice carried in the song, in like every song I would put it on, like it was just the part that stuck the most. Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. What got you into producing in the first place?
I was watching these YouTube videos like after, like during my senior year. I had a lot of time on my hands. It was like senioritis time. Like people weren't really doing anything. Like there wasn't really a lot of homework and stuff. And I had a lot of time on my hands. And I was actually at the time, just like when I started making my own songs, I was going through a breakup. And so I wasn't really going out much. I didn't feel like getting out of the house much. And I was just watching YouTube videos. And I came across this video of J. Cole making the beat for Power Trip. And I just remember looking at that shit. I don't know how I thought music was made back then, but just the fact that he was making the song, the beat on his own, like from his laptop, that shit just stuck with me. And then from that moment, that very same night, I downloaded a DAW called Reason, and I started making my own beats, and they were fucking terrible at first. But then pretty much the whole summer after high school, all I did was make beats. Like it felt like I never really got into video games when I was a kid, and that felt like my video game. Like I was just making beats all the time, every single day, every single night, just making beats.
Okay. I could rock with that. And then I'm just assuming that you got tired of it, and then you actually just were like, oh, I really want to hop on my own beats and just make my own music. But this is going to transition to my next question. So what have you taken from your producing days into your artist days?
Oh, so much, dog. Like, I think most of my music, the reason people vibe with it is, I think, like, one, I'm pretty good at freestyling, so I know, like, a lot of times, like, the things I say can stick with people, and people got lyrics that they'll say to me that are, like, their favorites, you know, like, you can keep my hoodies, you a cold-ass bitch, like, things like that, right, that people vibe with. But
I fuck with that one.
Yeah, a lot of it,
matter of fact, it don't matter because you sold that shit.
Yeah, exactly. But a lot of it really is the production quality. So I'll take like a beat that I find online or a beat that somebody sends me and shit, and then I'll change a lot about it. I might like pitch it up, I might pitch it down, I might take drums out in this part, I might put drums back in this part. So I mess with the arrangement a lot so that even though it's a freestyle, like you really get a whole song out of it, right? That you have like a very recognizable chorus, a very recognizable pre-chorus and all of that. And then my voice too, right? Like I use a lot of production techniques, portions of my voice throughout the song that normally you would use on an instrument. Like I might use a compressor that's made for a guitar on my voice if I think it sounds right in that part of the song, you know? So it's not just auto-tune compressor limiter. It's like I'm throwing in Camel Crush in there. It's like I might throw in some Dada Life shit in there. I might throw in like plugins that people have never heard of, right? That I just found from my days as a producer that I just stumbled upon.
So that's good though. So it's not like it wasn't time wasted. It's like something that you realize you didn't really find quote unquote enjoyment in, but you're still putting it towards something productive. You're still being used properly. And I rock with that. I can respect that heavily.
Oh yeah, I don't think I'd be like half the artist I am without the days in production. Like definitely not. Like a lot of my music is really like centered around the production and how I get like certain words to hit, how I get the drums to hit at certain parts, and all of that. Yeah.
Say that. And it's been a while. I should have said this earlier on, but let the audience know where you're from and just let us know something about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm from Miami. I grew up here my whole life. I was really born in Miami. I moved to Broward, like was raised in Broward. It's kind of all like the same thing. And yeah, and I've lived in a lot of places. I lived in LA, I lived in New York, I lived in SF. But I came back to Miami about 2 years ago, and I've been here ever since. This is where I like really feel most at home. I love the culture here. I'm Hispanic. There's a lot of Hispanic. Yeah, but I just love the diversity of this area. Like I grew up with all Jamaicans, Haitians, Cubans, Puerto Ricans, Colombians, Venezuelans, Indian people from all different places of Asia. So I've just always loved the diversity here, and I feel like I've never gotten that anywhere else that I went.
Now, what country do you fall under, sir?
My family's from Colombia. I was born in Yes, sir.
It's great feeling. It's great meeting another fellow Colombian, bro. I didn't think I'd bump into it, man. It's insane, man.
Nah, bro. I felt like you were Hispanic, and then yeah, that makes sense. Nah, that's dope, bro.
Nah, no, because every time somebody looks at me, they just be thinking, oh, I'm either somewhat Hispanic or they guess the wrong country. They think I'm like Palestinian or something like that. Bro, I was filming like that music video I told you about earlier. Bro, like, so we bumped into a random dude and he said, you look like DJ Khaled. I'm like, bro, come on, man. DJ Khaled, why you gonna do me like that, bro?
Oh, nah. Nah. You do look Colombian, though.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say I look like DJ Khaled. I'm like, bro, come on, don't do that to me too, bro.
Nah, hell no.
Yeah, but I appreciate that. I've heard a lot. I heard Puerto Rican. I've heard Puerto Rican. I've heard Cuban. I have not heard a lot of Colombians be guessing I'm actually Colombian.
Yeah, for sure.
Nah, but how do you represent being Colombian? How do you represent being Latino, whether as a person or in the music?
I think
both.
I think I put on for Florida a lot. Like, if you hear a lot of the things in my songs, like you'll hear a lot of Florida lingo. And
like what?
Even when I talk, like, I mean, I'm saying like jit like half the time, right? I'm saying like nah.
You're saying jit and you look like a jit. Come on, man.
Nah, but I'm.
You
really,
can't be calling somebody a jit when you look like a jit.
I'm really putting on for Florida a lot. And like I think just like the whole Hispanic culture within Florida, but also just the whole Caribbean culture within Florida all the time. But yeah, it's just like in me. Like I think like the beat selection that I choose, I like to play a lot of shit with guitars, a lot of acoustic guitars. I've like rapped on all sorts of beats that people from Florida have sent me and all of that. But the coolest thing is though that like a lot of, especially like early on, like I mean I'm still early on, but early on, like a lot of my biggest fans were from like different countries, and those were the people that would like really DM me and like talk to me and like ask me about shit and ask me to like check out unreleased music and shit. A lot of people from Brazil, a lot of people from Mexico, some people from Colombia, but a lot of Brazil and Mexico and some of the other countries in South America. And I feel like maybe they just identify themselves with me and they like this genre of music, and I haven't seen somebody really in it that much, you know, as much as I've been like putting work into it. So that part's dope as fuck. Like I love that shit so much, and I try to rep whenever I can. I got like reels with like the Colombia jersey on and shit, and with other countries' jerseys and shit.
Okay. Now, who would you say are your favorite Hispanic artist? Since you're Colombian, do you have to unfortunately have to favor J Balvin, Shakira?
I mean, I don't want to just say like a Colombian artist, but I'm not gonna lie. I think the Hispanic artists I like their music the most. I vibe to it the most. It's probably Fade. Percho.
That's crazy as fuck, bro. How are you Colombian? You're not gonna say J Balvin, no Shakira? No, what's her name? There's that other girl. What is her name? Why am I forgetting her name?
Karol G.
Karol G, yeah, that's another one. How are you gonna, you're not gonna mention that?
You don't know Fade's Colombian?
Wait, he is? Oh, I didn't even know that. Damn, you caught me off guard, bro.
Yeah, Fade's Colombian. Nah, I just like really vibe with his music, like the emotion in his songs, the production and everything. Like I don't know. That's the one I relate to the most. But I listen to a lot of Spanish music. Bad Bunny, Karol G.
What's your opinion on Bad Bunny?
I like his music a lot.
Mm.
I went to 2 of his shows.
Okay.
Yeah, nah, I fuck with Bad Bunny. And Karol G too. Karol G probably my second favorite.
Who's your favorite artist in and out of the state? In the state of Florida and out of state.
I don't want to just say like Kodak Black because I feel like that's a really basic answer because he's already so big. But I played Kodak Black since I was like in middle school when he was really, really small and just doing local shows. And everybody in my schools, like every school I've been to, like has always been super into Kodak Black. So probably Kodak Black because I just know like all the lyrics, all the songs. You put on a Kodak Black song, like, oh my god, No Flockin', Skrilla, when those shits came out, bro, they were like,
okay.
Out of the state.
That's crazy. You're not gonna say X, no Ski, no B.O.B. Kosher, no 1900 Rugrat, bro. You're tripping, bro. There's too many good.
Anyone can go to my Instagram and see that I was at X's, at X's like place of rest. Right?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, no, I'm a huge fucking X fan. I mean, even the way I wear my chain is like pretty much just an X inspiration, you know. But and Ski Mask too. Ski Mask has a song that's not that big. It's called Laffy Taffy Remix. That shit is so fucking hard. I love that song. I used to play that shit all the time. And honestly, when X was coming up was around the time I got into production. And I mean, I don't remember too much about that time, but I do remember like thinking my whole time when I was producing, I was like, I just want to produce a beat for X one day. I used to send his team beats all the time. I used to send X's team beats like probably every other day. And I would send them to like a lot of Florida rappers. One time I sent a beat to Glock 9 and he started following me on Instagram. And I started spamming him with beats, but I never actually heard him use them in a song.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, but X is a...
No, but that's dedication though. That's dedication, all jokes aside.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
But out of the state, I have a lot of like artists that I listen to. I probably listen to the most right now, Ken Carson. But there's a lot of smaller artists that I listen to a lot. Like this kid named Woke Ups. You know,
okay. Nah.
Oh, Woke Ups is fire. I probably play Woke Ups like every single day. I've been trying to get a feature from dog. He's fucking fire. You gotta check him out.
Okay. I can respect that. I respect that. Who would you say were some of your musical inspirations? Like, who do you feel like inspired you to like with your sound and like just to become an artist in general?
I get a lot of comparisons to Juice WRLD, right? And I love Juice WRLD's music. Like a lot of my songs are on Juice WRLD type beats. So I hate to say like, I hate to even mention his name though, because I feel like people kind of write me off as like a Juice clone sometimes, you know? And then there's a lot of people who are like huge Juice WRLD fans that will tell me like really nice things to me and like express how big of a fan they are of both of our music. But yeah, it's probably Juice WRLD, honestly.
I'm not gonna lie, I could definitely see the inspiration. I can definitely see like, you know, the heartbreak melody. My only thing is just from a viewer from the outside looking inward, it's just too much sad boy vibes. There's nothing wrong with it, but when that's just your majority of your thing, like that's like, I don't know. There's only so many times you're basically pulling a Rod Wave. There's only so many. You didn't even mention Rod Wave, and he's from Florida too. What's wrong with you? You didn't even mention Rod Wave. That's crazy, boy.
Yeah, bro. Rod Wave. I like album artists a lot, and because Rod Wave really an album artist, that shit I fuck with a lot. But album artists like they have waves, you know. When the album comes out, you might be playing it like every day for 2 months, but then until the next album, like you play it every day.
Yeah. Nah, but going back on that, like, there's nothing wrong with. I can see the comparison. I like it. The only thing is, like, if you were to want to branch out, you kind of have to make more stuff that's like something like I was giving a look of your album of Life's Too Short to Miss You. I feel like something like Goodbye Michelle. You need to make more things like that, more like hype shit. You gotta counter to both crowds.
Yeah, no, I agree. The next album has a lot more like influences from the hyperpop scene. I don't want to call it a hyperpop album because it's not, but it got a lot of shit that you could turn up to, and I'm really excited about that album. Like
That's what you really need. You need something like that.
Now I'm telling you, the next album, like I fucking play that shit every single day, all the time. Like I'm so excited to drop that music. I'm letting this one breathe, right? But a lot of this stuff is like from older beats, right? It's like stuff I did 2-3 years ago that I really just needed to get out there before I got the more recent music out. And because a lot of people were vibing with songs like Can't Stop You, I was like, let me just drop all the music I have that's like similar to that song, you know? But the next album has obviously like newer sounds and it's a lot more hype, I would say.
All right. I'm definitely excited. We're going to touch more bases on that later on. My next question I want to ask you is, though, do you feel like you have a supportive group within yourself? Do you feel like you have like a solid circle? Does like your family, your friends, and like people support you with this music journey? You feel like you're in this all alone on your own?
Oh my God. I have like the most supportive group ever, dog. Like
that's insane. That's something you don't really hear that often. Just being Hispanic and just trying to go after the creative route, you don't really see that often.
Nah, you don't, bro. And honestly, like, I don't know. When I was just producing and I was thinking about getting into music, I was really nervous about it. You know, even when I was making my own music before I dropped it, like for a long time, I just wouldn't tell people about it. And when I did tell people about it, like all I heard was good things, right? But you know, like people are gonna say good things because they don't want to be rude.
Yeah, they don't want to crush your spirit.
Yeah, so you don't really know until you put it out. Like, is it actually good? Like, are people gonna listen to it, or are people just vibing to it when I played it in the car for them? You know? But nah, I had started dropping like a few songs probably in the summer. I dropped like 3 songs. They were more like rap influence, like almost like on Playboy Cardi type beats, and those didn't get a lot of attention. And you know, like some people told me they were good, but it wasn't like they weren't like getting streamed a lot. Right? It was when I posted this carousel post on Instagram of like 6 different songs and me just like vibing to 6 of the songs. That's when people found the song Goodbye Michelle. And then that's when people actually started DMing me and saying like, yo, when are you going to drop this? And that's when I was like, oh, okay. I see what it is. Like, this is my route, not those type of beats, but like more songs like this. And then when I dropped that song was the first time that I saw like my actual friends actually listening to the music. And now I would go on Spotify and see people like stream it like 10 times, 15 times, right? And that's when I was like, oh, okay, now it is what it is. But after I dropped that song, that's when everybody got way more supportive. Like all my friends and stuff helping me film like videos and shit and like pushing me. And you know, when I drop my album, like sometimes my friends will want to play it in the car with me. And I'm like, nah, please, bro, don't play that shit. Because I've heard it a million times. And you know, because you're an artist, like,
yes, sir.
After you mix a song and you've heard it like 20 fucking times,
you get someone embarrassed by when you hear it. Like, bro, I have a lot of my homies who say MJ Pippin is like their favorite song. And then when I hear it like 5, 10, 20 times, I'd be like, oh, bro, don't play it. Like, it's hard, but like, don't play it, man. Like, even with the videos, it's the same shit.
Yeah. No, exactly. So even then, like, but it, like, that shit, honestly, that's probably like the best thing I've like experienced since I started dropping music. Is one, like the support from people who don't even know me and they're like super into the music and they want me to drop more stuff, but also seeing friends have really crowded around me and like really pushed me and like have supported me. And then my mom, like she barely speaks English, but she's always like told me like, oh,
same.
Yeah, but she's
my
always
mom is the same exact way.
Yeah, she's always told me like, oh, you should, when are you dropping that music? When are you dropping? I see you recording every day, like, when are you dropping that music? And so now that I've dropped it, she like tells all her friends about it and like send it to them. None of them speak English, like none of them know what I'm saying, right? But they're all like women in their 40s and 50s, but still like they're like, yeah. So I have
but that's love, bro. That's still love, though.
I have like 50-year-old women who are my mom's friends, like tell me when I see them in person, like, oh, I listened to Goodbye Michelle. I listened to Can't Stop You. That song is really good. I'm like, you don't even know what I'm saying.
Está muy bueno, man. Está muy fuego, niño.
Yeah. Honestly, that shit's been the best. Like seeing the way my friends came together for me. Like, shit fills me with joy.
Nah, but it truly is a blessing. It's not something that you're gonna see that often. Oh my god, this dude not with the 7-Eleven big gulp cup. Not that, not that. And he's got another. Oh shit, man.
Best bar in Florida. You ever been to Glitch Bar or not?
Nah, I'm not really a bar type of guy. That's not me.
No, that's the thing. I'm not a bar type of person either. This is a bar where they have like Nintendo Switches and like vintage video games and shit. So people just go there to like hang out and play the games. It's like the bar for people who don't go to bars.
Okay. I can see what you're getting at, twin. I can see what you're getting at. My next question I want to ask you is, would you consider dropping more music videos, and are you open to performing and like doing shows to showcase your music type shit?
I want to so badly, bro. I want to perform and I want to drop music videos. But I don't know, like I feel like when I drop a reel or a TikTok, I might have like 800 people view it like every single time, 800 like new people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I dropped a music video like 2 days ago. It's got like 50 views so far, and that's cool because people are watching like a full 2-minute video. But still, I'm like, I put a shit ton of work into this, but then like getting people to switch platforms is rough. You know, it's like a hard job. But now I want to have like more music videos so that people can go back to it and see it. And if I get a chance to perform, dog, that's all I've been trying to do. Like I even performed for my friends one time so we could like get a bunch of content out of it, and that shit was fun. That shit was like some of the most fun I've had with my music. Like it was a great time. And a lot of my music, I feel like, goes harder when you hear it perform. Like especially like you might hear a song like Can't Stop You and it might sound like sad sometimes if you hear it in your headphones, but it's when like
you hear it performed, it's a different story.
If you hear it in the car and you like sing along to it, it's like a whole different vibe, you know?
Because I'm not gonna lie, I can imagine hearing a song like loud, like it sounds kind of sad, but if I can imagine you just performing it in front of somebody, you'd be like, "Baby, when are you coming home?" You just hear like that emotion, like I don't know why I'm going like this, but you hear that emotion in your chest. You can hear it like you know.
That's what I try to do with the reels. Like I try to really like promote the emotion of the song, not like really sell you the song, but say like, this is how I feel when I hear the song, so you can think like, oh, okay, that's how you're supposed to feel with this song. Like it's not like a sad song. It's like a song to get lit to, a song to turn up to, you know?
Nah, 110%, bro. I can definitely see where you're getting at, but we're going to take a quick commercial break because I did not buy Zoom Premium, but we're going to catch you after our regularly scheduled programming.
You got Zoom
It's
Premium?
going I didn't, but we finna go crazy though. It's finna go longer. It's gonna get realer and realer. Shout out to Future and Juice WRLD, man. It's gonna get crazy and crazier, man. Stay tuned though. Stay tuned. And we're right back with our regularly scheduled programming. My bad about that. I'd rather pay for YouTube Premium than Zoom Premium, but you know,
crazy.
It's neither here nor there. But we're finna jump back into this with the question of the second half. I gotta know, what's your recording process? Because I know you say you freestyle a lot of your songs, but I want to know, like, do you freestyle all the way? Do you punch in? Do you just think like bars here and there? Like, what's your recording process like?
It's all freestyles. Like everything I've ever dropped has been freestyles. But what's crazy is that I used to write all the time. So like second grade, first grade, I used to just be writing songs before I knew what songs were, and just like writing. And even when I was in middle school, I remember I had won some poetry competitions just off of the songs that I had written before I really knew what a song was. But anyways, like as I like grew up and stuff, like in high school and stuff, like people just be freestyling to like bullshit around, you know? And so I was always freestyling with my friends when I was in school, freestyling with my cousins when I would come home and all of that. So we were always freestyling. And then I was making beats and I would like freestyle with the artists there and everything too. And by the time it was like time for me to make my actual songs, I didn't even like consider writing because I was just like, I know how to put words on a beat already. Like it's just freestyling. And so every now and then, like I'll have ideas, right, when I'm not in a recording studio, and I'll write them down and stuff, and I'll like think of things that I want to say and stuff. But it just never actually ends up making it onto a song because by the time I'm actually on a beat, I'm like in the mood to say something else, you know? And then I'll hear myself sometimes say things that I wrote like months and months ago, right? Because it just finally fits the vibe that I'm in or like the beat that I'm hearing and all of that. So everything's freestyles. Some songs are like one take, like Out of Reach, for example. It's a 2-minute song. I recorded in 2 minutes because it was all a one take. And then some songs like Goodbye Michelle, like the chorus is a one take, but then the verses I'll drop like 1 bars freestyle, like 2 bars, 3 bars. And I'll say things over just to make sure like the voice sounds good. But honestly, like the best songs are the ones where I just one take. And those are the songs that go up the most. Like Goodbye Michelle, for example, took me like 20 minutes to make. The songs I dropped before that took me like an hour, 2 hours to make each, right? And people fuck with Goodbye Michelle way more. And I think they can just like feel like it was just lit. Like it's hard to stay lit. If you're making a lit song, it's hard to stay lit for a full hour, 2 hours while you're in the studio, you know? But Goodbye Michelle is just really quick. And I think that's like people felt that it just like moved really quick.
Okay, I can rock with that. Now, out of curiosity, what is like the craziest bar that you ever said within a freestyle? Or like, okay, whether that you said or that someone else assumed like, yo, that's crazy that you said that, boy.
I mean, I think honestly, like one of the reasons I like the song Out of Reach so much is because the way I was saying things and the way I was feeling when I made that song, I was like saying things in a way that I listen back to it and I'm like, damn, that's so relatable. I'm like, I made that fucking song. Like, what am I saying, right? But like, it's so relatable in a sense that like I was just putting things into words that normally I would have a hard time coming up with. But I'm just sitting here thinking, I'm reminiscing. These emotions I'm feeling or something are starting to sink in, right? And that's like when you're like ignoring the hurt that you're feeling, right? When you're trying to like feel better and you're constantly just like moving through life, like trying to ignore things that happen to you. And then there's a point in time where everything just starts to sink in, you know, and that's what I was feeling right then and there. I think I just made another song that never dropped called Our Fall, and it was dope. It was like fun and everything, and that song was like really quick. And then I started recording Out of Reach, and I didn't even have the beat loaded up into my DAW or anything. Like I just had it on YouTube, but I was recording myself, and I recorded that, and I was just like, you know, all these emotions I'm avoiding are starting to sink in, and I was like, damn, that shit's hard. Like I was saying, like there's other songs like No Need to Apologize, where like the verse is what people fuck with the most, because I'll say something like, you can keep my hoodies, you a cold ass bitch, you can go back to your broke ass friends, which whatever for your whole ass links. That's like, I was just angry when I made that song, you know. And
of course, man.
I listen to that back now and I'm just like, damn, bro, like I was
you was like mad, bro. You was pissed.
It's almost like a little embarrassing putting out a song like that, because you're just like, damn, I was upset. But it's just dope. Like you end up saying like pretty cool things that people relate to when they're in like their lowest of lows, you know. Everybody's been there.
That's respect. Something I'm actually curious about is that how come within these songs, like, are you trying to like only stick towards this? Because I don't see any songs where you're like relaying any message of like the violence or this or XYZ in the third. And like, I want to ask what's up with that. It's because you don't want to quote unquote cap in the rap, or what's up with that, man?
I think like capping and rap is fine. I think like, you know, music is art, and you know, you want to say the things that inspire people the most, and whether you're like inspiring like let's get lit, like even if it's like violent or whatever, I still think that's hard. And I don't think there's anything wrong with capping your rap, but something I just have always done since the beginning is if I say something that's not the way I really feel, I can hear it in my music, right? And I know it's not just because I know that's not how I feel, but I can just hear it in the music where I'm like, the delivery didn't sound right. Like that doesn't sound like me, you know? And so, yeah, if I'm like freestyling with my friends, we'll talk about all kinds of shit. We're like, yeah, we got 30s, we're fucking shooting glizzies, whatever, you know, but it's just like fun. But at the end of the day, when I go to I'm like, it just doesn't sound like me. Most of my songs are about girls too, so it's like there's nothing violent to say when it comes to girls, right? And so
I mean, but you can also switch up. You could be like, ever since that girl dumped me, now I pull up with an AK. I'm gonna leave that boy in dismay. He done took my girl, but I'm gonna take his bae or something like that. Like that's right there on the spot. Like, bro, you can say something like that. But I mean, that's neither here nor there.
That's true though, because I do have songs where I say like, oh, if I see a new man, I'm gonna kill him or some shit like that, because that is how you really feel in the moment. But I think, yeah, I don't know. I think none of it's just like made it into the songs that really hit. And that's probably for a reason, you know, like those songs probably just didn't make the cut because they weren't as genuine as I felt. you know.
Fair enough. I can respect it. I can definitely go for it. I mean, it's just something out of curiosity because I was just wondering if you're gonna break out of this quote unquote sad boy phase, or you're gonna like just stick in this realm that you're comfortable with for the momentarily.
A song like Goodbye Michelle though isn't really like sad boy, and that's like one of my bigger songs. It's like Goodbye Michelle is like Goodbye Michelle, you know. It's like and Life's Too Short to Miss You. We can talk about the album later, but Life's Too Short to Miss You isn't meant to be like a heartbreak album. Like, it's really about moving on from things, you know.
But isn't that still under the same realm as heartbreak though? That you're feeling the pain, but you're trying to move past the pain.
Yeah, I think that's what I like about Life's Too Short to Miss You is like it goes through phases in the album where you're feeling the pain, you're faking being over the pain, right? You got a song like Can't Keep Up that's like, if I fall in love today, I'll fall out of tomorrow, blah, 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 right? Where you're just like really feeling that bravado, but you're really like, that's not you, right? Like you're still feeling that sort of hurt. But yeah, it just goes through all like the phases of the breakup. And it's like, the reason it's like that is not because I like formulated like that, but it's just because I was recording the songs over time, and over time I just felt different ways. There were times it was like really like hurting, and there was times where I'm like, I'm over this shit, and there's other times where I'm like, you know, I'm realizing I'm not over this shit. And then really, like at the end you have a song like Call Me where it's like, I can accept this shit, it's all good, like it's all okay.
Fair enough. Okay, well, we might as well get into talking about Life's Too Short for you. Life's Too Short to Miss You. Might as well get into it right now. What is the theme and the story behind it? Is there a true real life backstory behind this album?
There's a backstory behind every song, and the album especially, for sure. Like that backstory is like the story of like my past few years, you know. But yeah, Life's Too Short to You, like the name came to me when I was sleeping one time, right? Like I was having this terrible, terrible nightmare, right? Like a really, really bad nightmare. There was like a lot of shit involved in it. And when I woke up, the first thing I said was like, life's too short. And I don't usually like wake up and just like say shit as soon as I wake up. But when I said that, it like, I was like, why did I say that? And then I kept thinking about it, and I was like, because life is too short. Life is too short. I gotta drop this album. Life's too short. I gotta do this shit. Life's too short. I gotta go harder on the content. Life's too short. Like I gotta get this music out there, right? And that's when I started to really feel sort of like a moving on phase for me, where I'm like, I'm really moving on from this like relationship that I had put my all into, you know? And so Life's Too Short to Miss You is me saying like, it's time to like move on past this shit, you know? But yeah, no, there's definitely like a backstory. It's basically just a relationship I had that was really fucking long. That it was with like someone I thought I was gonna marry that didn't end up working out. And then me going through all the phases of like Can't Keep Up, where I was just like afterwards partying, not feeling that shit, you know, saying whatever. I Know Better, of me saying like I shouldn't have been with you in the first place, fuck this shit. And then, you know, No Need to Apologize, where you kind of feel like the peak of my feelings at that point, the peak of me being upset. And then it switches right back up to Out of Reach. Out of Reach I made the day after No Need to Apologize. And Out of Reach is me saying like, yeah, you know, this shit that I'm avoiding, it's starting to sink in. And that's when I'm really, you know, starting to process everything. And I feel like that happens to everyone when you're in a relationship and it ends. At first, you feel like you've moved on and you're like, I'm done with this shit. Like, it's over. Like, it's a relief, you know, whatever. And then you start to really process things after a while. And you're like, damn, this is fucked. And did I make the right choice? Do I want to be with this person? Did I not fight for them hard enough? And then, you know, by the end of the album, you have a song like I Don't Want to Talk, which is almost like the peak of the other side. The peak of me saying like, nah, you know what? Like, I'm done with this shit. Like, I changed my number on you. I don't want to talk. Completely contrary to a song like, or completely on the same vibe as I Know Better, which is at the beginning of the album, where it's me saying, you can call my phone, but I'm not going to answer. Matter of fact, I got a couple hoes on the way, whatever. But it's the same feeling, but one of them is genuine and one of them's not. The beginning of the album is me. You know? But the end of the album is me saying like I'm actually over it. And then the last song on the album is called Call Me, which picks up on that same theme of me saying like throughout the whole album I've said like don't ever call me.
So there is like a sense of direction towards this album. Like you you methodically put out like you methodically thought about like what you wanted to put on there. Like you didn't just slap on just songs that you fuck with, but you put them in like a order for a reason. And I rock with that. There's a reasoning behind it.
Yeah, fuck no. I have hundreds of songs. So when I was coming down and picking the album, like I got it down to 50 at one point, and I had to really get it down to 20 until I finally got it down to 12 plus 2 bonus songs. But every song is like in the place it is in a really intentional manner. So Call Me ends the album, and that's like after the whole album of me saying like I start off with Don't Fucking Call Me, I Got Hoes on the Way, to I Miss You, Please Call Me, to you know what, I'm finally over this shit, I don't want to talk to you, I changed my number, that's how done I am with you. Call Me is me saying like, if you ever need me, you can call me, but it's okay, like things are over now and I've accepted that.
I could rock with that. I could definitely respect it. The question I do have is, how come you don't have any features on it? It's all solo dolo.
Yeah, that was intentional too, because I think that the album is really a story, right? So if I were to have a feature on there, I would have to tell them like, you follow this story, make everything to this point, and that's not gonna be genuine to them. But I got remixes on the way. So Can't Stop You, I got Donovan's doing a remix for. I Know Better.
Oh shit! And I just got done doing an interview with that boy like not even a week or so ago, man.
I know, my boy. And then
That's crazy as fuck, bro.
I Know Better, I got a rapper named Jasper doing a remix. And then Goodbye Michelle, I got this artist named Kinola doing a remix, and that one I got the feature back from him. That shit's so fire. I'm really excited to put that shit out.
Oh hell yeah. That's hard as fuck. I can't wait, boy. That's hard as fuck. I'm definitely excited to hear this shit. I'm definitely most excited to hear that Donovan shit, bro. You already know I'm a Donovan's fanboy as of recently, so I'm ready for that shit, boy. I'm definitely ready for that one. But moving on to my next question, something that I am like somewhat curious about would be, so there's no features on it, but what got you into like this? What made you? Okay, I don't know how I want to go about asking this question. Something that I want to ask about when it comes to this album is, what's making you like not want to like just promote this as hard as you can, just do like mad music videos to this shit? Because I was you, I would get like 2 to 3 music videos on this shit, no question about it.
It's because I got so many more songs already. Like the next album is finished, right? The next album is already finished, and I'm really excited about those songs. I listen to them every single day. This album was me taking songs that were already made and me saying like, okay, before I can put out the shit I'm listening to every day, I need to put out this shit because it can't go ignored, right? Because if I didn't put these songs out now, they would just never come out, because I know the next songs are just gonna go in a completely new direction, right? The next songs are like this album, right? Guitars, 808s and all of that, but they follow different drum patterns. The guitars are moving faster, everything's more distorted. The whole thing is just way faster, and so it's like I can't really go in reverse. I gotta drop this stuff, which is like the classic emo rap sound, and then I can move towards the more electronic hyperpop stuff. So that's the only reason I haven't dropped more music videos and shit on this album. It's because I'm so focused on the next ones and getting that.
Okay, I can respect it. I respect it. Now, real quick, tell us what's the name of that next album, or you don't have a name for it yet. You don't got nothing official yet. I
got a couple of names that I'm thinking of, and so I'm not gonna say it until I've decided on the name. But yeah, it's just it's a work in progress. I'm still trying to figure out the cover art. I understand, like I know the theme of the album because I've already picked the songs for it, but I'm still working on picking the right name for it, on the packaging for it. I feel like
okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Going to my next question, I want to ask you, what is your mindset on social media marketing when it comes to like marketing yourself as an artist? Like, what is your mindset? What is your, like, what's up with that, man? I'm actually curious as hell about this.
Yeah, bro. I mean, I feel like in some ways it's a lot harder than it was a while ago because it's really saturated. I remember back when I was like first starting to make beats, it was really easy to find people to buy my beats. It was really easy to find new artists because there weren't that many out there. And so as a producer, you could just drop stuff on the internet, you drop snippets, and people would just reach out because they'd be like, oh shit, you're a producer, you know, I'm an artist and stuff. Now it's like, if you drop a beat on the internet, you need to have a really good video to it. You need to have the algorithm already figuring you out, and you need to compete against like 50 other producers that artist has seen to date, right? And the same thing is even more true for artists. Like, there's just so many artists online right now competing for people's attention. And since TikTok, right? TikTok's like one of the easiest ways to blow up right now. Blow up. Since TikTok is so music focused in the first place, it's like everything already has music on it. So you're not really just competing against other artists, you're competing against the other popular songs that people are hearing on social media already. But in a lot of ways too, it's a lot easier to blow up, right? Before it used to be the case that you would have to, like, if you wanted to blow up as an artist, you would have to pay blogs to put you on their Instagram pages, right? Now on TikTok, you can have 10 followers and still reach thousands and thousands of people. Back then, you only reached your followers and a few more people, right? And it depended a lot on how many followers you had. Now you could have very little followers and still have the video go crazy. But yeah, people's attention spans are way shorter. My attention span is way shorter now, and so it's
I bet you were an iPad kid, weren't you?
Nah,
you were not an iPad kid.
I wasn't. Nah, but I was definitely a desktop kid. I was on Instagram all the time when I was.
Oh my god, that's even worse. I'm disappointed in you. You're a Colombiano and you're a fucking desktop kid. Fuck wrong with you, boy?
Yeah,
disappointed as fuck.
With the Facebook memes, the Instagram memes. Yeah, I was really into the internet. But nah, I think like I'm really excited about like where music is right now and where it's going, especially rap. Like, I feel like there's a lot of really good rappers right now that are blowing up.
That actually was going to lead me to my next question. How do you feel about the state of like hip hop as an artist right now? How do you feel about it? Continue forward, sir.
I'm so much happier with where it is now because, dog, there was a period of time like 2021, 2022 where the rap scene was trash. Like, I did not like the music that was coming out in 2021, 2022. And then you just heard new sounds come up. I think like a lot of it happened when Whole Lotta Red came out. And then producers started changing up the music they were putting out. And then you had artists like cling on to those sounds, and shit's been so much better ever since. So much better. Honestly, like there was a minute there where, bruh, I did not like what I was hearing. Like I was really disappointed in the rap scene at that time. But nah, yeah, I love like, obviously Ken Carson's been around for a while. I think he's like leading the new wave of rap, and I love Ken Carson's music. I listen to some Netspend, like I like Netspend. Honestly, even an artist like Ian, like I know
Ian is tough. What about Jace? You fuck with Jace?
Nah, I don't listen to Jace that much.
That's crazy as fuck.
I'm not gonna lie, I do not listen to Jace that much. But yeah, Ian, Netspend, Osama Son.
What about Yeet? What about DD Osama?
Oh yeah, I mean, but like Yeet is like so big now. It's hard to like keep him in the conversation when you're talking about like the rap scene, because he's basically a mainstream pop star, you know?
I guess you could say that. It's because of the Drake shit, and even beforehand, he was building himself up into the mainstream. You're right. Can't you say Ken Carson's in the mainstream too? Yeah,
definitely.
What would you consider like mainstream versus underground? What constitutes you getting out of the underground going into the mainstream? Is it the features? Is it the recognition? Is it the connections?
I don't think it's even like the streams anymore. How much attention you're getting as an artist. Like, I don't even think it's how much attention your music is getting, but the fact that like if Yeet goes to an NBA game, like the cameras are on him, that's mainstream. You know, or the fact that anything Ken Carson does, it's like going up on TikTok and getting 1 million views. Like, that's mainstream. You know,
I guess.
Even something like Osama Son, like they'll get a lot of streams, but people don't have them as like a household name just yet. Yeah.
Okay. And now, to properly conclude this interview, I want to know, what are your closing remarks and your plans to end off the year and also going into 2025?
Man, going into 2025, I can't wait to drop my first single off the next album. It's called You Were Meant to Be Mine. That shit is fucking insane. Like, I love that song so much. And then I'm gonna start working with a couple of new producers that have been hitting my line. I've been liking what I'm hearing from them. Honestly, like a big part of just like making music and being an artist is just finding the right producers. Like that's such a massive part of it that takes probably more time. I probably spent more time looking for beats than recording, right? And I have hundreds and hundreds of songs. But yeah, finding the right artists for sure is really finding the right producers for sure is really important. But yeah, just dropping consistent content on TikTok and Instagram and working on this next album, making sure everything is mixed right, making sure everything sounds sonically right, and pushing that forward.
But that sounds like you got a good head on your shoulders and you got a good game plan. And last but not least, something I love for my guests to do at the ending of the videos, the end of the interviews, of course, if you would like to go about doing so, is can you tell the audience what NLH Never Lose Hope means to you?
Nah, I'm good, bro.
Nah. Damn, I guess fair enough.
Never lose hope. Never lose hope, bro. I really like that message. To me, what it sounds like is always paying attention to what's positive in your life, you know, because a lot of things can bring you down. You'll have a lot of negatives. It's really like trying to turn those things into positives and never losing hope that at the end of it all, it's going to be good, right? Like things are going to be good. Things are going to go down. Things are going to go back up. But at the end of it all, you just got to have hope that things are going to come back up. That's what never lose hope means to me. And honestly, I love that message. Like it's fucking fire.
Yes, sir, 110%. NLH all started just because when I was a youngin', I lost my older brother when I was like 10, 11 years old. And I always thought about Trunks from Dragon Ball because he had lost when I was like his older brother with future Gohan. And he wanted to bring about hope to that timeline. And then he finally did it. And he finally created a future that future Gohan would be proud of. And that's what I try to do with this Never Lose Hope movement, with the motion, with the message. I want to create a world that my older brother would be proud of. I want to create something that like a lot of people can resonate with, like, you know, because no one told me to not lose hope when I was a youngin'. So I want to tell that to the future next generation, tell it to older people, just people in general, man. Just keep going, keep chasing your dreams, keep it pushing. XYZ in the third made it happen, but if you don't lose hope and you keep going, I promise you shit will get better. It can only get worse before it gets better.
Hell yeah, bro. I love that. I love that message.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But that's going to conclude another Rise of a Star, man. Shout out that boy, xoAlonso. I'm finna put all his shit in the description down below. Stream Life's Too Short to Miss You on all platforms. Stay tapped into my boy. Go crazy, go stupid with that shit, man. If you made it through the end of the video, comment down below XO or comment down below Triple L, because you know we always living like Larry. Come on, you gotta tell me you know who Larry is, bro.
Larry the Lobster.
Exactly, man, bro. He had motion, bro. He was buffed up, and that boy was a lifeguard. He had people in the cut, like he was about it, man.
Yes, sir.
Nah, but it's crazy because even living like Larry is kind of crazy inspiration, because the whole resonation of living like Larry is like, bro, live your life to the fullest. Keep going, keep pushing.
That's a good episode.
It is a good episode. It's funny, but like it's still inspirational at the same time.
It is.
But with all that being said, it's NLH. Never lose hope even all hope is lost. And I'm finna catch all y'all on the next one. Peace. Yeah.
I'ma have to walk in my name, shout out NLH, you know it's my game, never losing hope, know that we got faith, he was rocking with me before I had to fame,